What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Do remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow me on TikTok, all that good stuff. So let's get into this one. So this one is just a bit of news I heard earlier in this week, and that is that Anthony Joshua will not be actually taking the rematch with Daniel Dubois in February, which was the proposed date. As all of you will know by now, Anthony Joshua got absolutely obliterated, got destroyed by Dynamite Daniel Dubois in 5 rounds in Wembley, 21st of September. I was one of the 90 odd, what was it, 96, 98,000 people there. And yeah, fantastic performance by Daniel Dubois. But I was in that camp of Joshua shouldn't really be taking that immediate rematch if he wants any chance of winning it, because I just didn't. It's one of those things where, based on what I saw, that was just a savage, one-sided beatdown. He, to his credit, he was brave in there. He was bold. He was trying to fight till the very end. He wasn't really trying to run or trying to survive even after he was hurt. It was one of those where he was getting battered, but he was very valiant. He was always sort of coming forward, and you know, it was one of those performances where there was nothing really he could do there. It was just from that first round knockdown, it was over. So I was a lot in the mindset of, for immediate rematch on this occasion wouldn't be advisable. I mean, this was probably worse than the Usyk loss and worse than the loss to Andy Ruiz, because with Andy Ruiz there were some positives there. He won some rounds, and he was winning some. He was basically winning the Ruiz fight in the first one until he got knocked down. He was able to even put Ruiz down, so there were lots of positives. But this one was a beating. I mean, the Usyk one, he got completely outclassed and outboxed. But you thought, okay, maybe if he's more aggressive, if he puts it on Usyk, there's a chance that he can do something. But in this one, it was like, because of him getting hurt and put down and almost out in that first round, it was a disaster from the word go. So for him to come back from that, it may take him having at least one fight to build his confidence or something. And because the immediate thing going into it probably, for in my view, would have been too much. So yeah, from Joshua's camp, from his side, I understand that his team has been saying he's got niggles, he's got a few injuries and stuff like that. And I've also just listened to Frank Warren on Talksport, who said that from what he understands as well, the rematch is not going to take place in February. So what Frank Warren was talking about is other options for Daniel Dubois, and Simon Jordan seemed to heavily suggest Joseph Parker. As Joseph Parker, he's one of those guys that, he's had a few losses to the likes of Anthony Joshua, but he's come back so well, and he beat Chisora twice. He's beaten guys like Zhilei Zhang and Deontay Wilder in recent history. And, Zhilei Zhang was like a bogeyman, battered Joe Joyce twice, and Joe Joyce battered Joseph Parker before that. So, he's a live dog for that fight. So yeah, as we can see from what's going on in all the news sources, Joshua's side is saying he's got injuries, he's got niggles, and Dubois' side is saying, well, they're looking to move on. So we're not going to see that. I mean, for me, I'm not really disappointed, to be honest, because I think that would just be probably a repeat, unless Joshua has a miraculous sort of change of mind, unless he gets everything perfect, unless he gets everything spot on, and really gets over the mental demons of that losing, of that losing effort that he had last time out. Unless he can really get over the loss, then I don't think he wins. I think it's a very tough one, and Dubois just seemingly all wrong for him. Yeah, and that's a bit of the news there. And others have been, some have been quite skeptical of the injury claim because February is still a little while away. What are we now? Beginning of November, December, January. So he'd have a good 3.5, 4 months to get ready if he did want to take the rematch. But for me, it's one of those where I'm not disappointed because I think in light of, even as a guy, I like AJ, I'm a fan of his, but at the same time, I like Daniel Dubois too. And for me, what I'd rather have seen, I know there's these rematch clauses, but what I want to see now, because of the result, how conclusive it was, is Daniel Dubois now stepping against the rest of the top contenders. So, there's been talk of Fabio Wardley even, but Frank Warren, his promoter, doesn't seem keen on that. He's talking about going a different direction and just gradually building him up to that world title level. Um, but I think guys like, the winner of Caballel versus Bacoli would be a good one for him. And also, of course, Joseph Parker, another good fight for Daniel Dubois. I think it will be a difficult style matchup that will cause Dubois problems because of the speed and the athleticism of Joseph Parker. And again, we could think of, I think a ridiculous one would be a Joyce rematch. But had Joyce beaten Derek Chisora, I think just for Daniel Dubois to get to get Joe Joyce back, that might have even been a decent fight. But anyway, yeah, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Anthony Joshua Dubois, the rematch will not be taking place in February as was expected. For me, I'm not disappointed about it. I'm happy about it because it'll probably give us a better fight with somebody who's not coming off of such a loss as Anthony Joshua did. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out.